Beware of the werewolves of summer.
Week 3. Nice shades, bro.
Thanks, man. It's bright on Planet Cool.
Yeah. Seriously, love that theme song. Seriously. Well, welcome back to week 3 of the Werewolves of Summer 2.
Woo!
I'm Rob.
There's too many numbers. I'm Jason Michael.
And today we are talking about yet another movie that neither of us had seen beforehand. We're talking about Late Phases from 2014, also known as Night of the Wolf, which happens to be one of my fun facts. So, because I was very confused looking at IMDb, and I was like, that's the incorrect name. And then the movie poster said Late Phases, and I was like, okay.
I mean, at least it's not the head that wouldn't die or the black door.
Yeah, it's true. Or the brain that wouldn't die. Or the black door. Yeah. Well, all right. So let's jump into the synopses that the studio released for this one. The studio decided to release: when deadly beasts attack from the forest, it is up to a grizzled veteran to uncover what the residents of a secluded retirement community are hiding. I wouldn't say beasts, singular. Probably the only change I would put in there. Also add that he's blind would be awesome, but
yeah, just that crucial detail. Why does this guy look like a combo of Vincent Price and Val Kilmer?
Right? He's kind of a stud.
He's not that bad looking, no.
He's a good-looking old dude. This movie was directed by Adrian Garcia Bogilian. I probably slaughtered that last name, but I'm going to try. I tried. He's a foreign director. He's done pretty much nothing but foreign films, which is pretty amazing. And I've seen a couple of them. I didn't write any of them down, but really? And this was written by Eric Stolz. Eric Stolz, if you know that name, then you're like, oh, yeah. Also didn't write down any of that, which I probably should have done, but Eric Stolz is pretty well known in the universe. So let's jump into the fun facts. I will start with the weird name change fun fact, because I was very confused, and then I have grabbed a few of most of my fun facts from IMDb, but have looked up a bunch more on past episodes. You can actually hear a bunch of those fun facts that I did deep research on over on episodes of Jason Michael Gets Learned. That's on patreon.com/spoilersleepoverpodcast. But this one I actually got directly from IMDb, and no surprise there. So the fun fact is, IMDb lists the film under the title Night of the Wolf, while the original production title is Late Phases. Dark Sky Films retitled the film Late Phases Night of the Lone Wolf for its home media release, making it available on Blu-ray and DVD in March 10th of 2015. The on-screen title card within the film itself reads Late Phases. So it was a mix between IMDb, well, initially it was Dark Sky Films, slightly changed the name a bit. Apparently the name was too not specific, so people were like, the fuck is this about? And so if they realized, if we don't put something about werewolves on this, no one's going to buy this movie. And it still didn't sell well. This movie was not received very well, which is unfortunate and I find very strange, but all right. And my second fun fact.
I was going to say, I've never heard of it until you put it on the list.
Neither had I. The first movie that we did, and this movie, and then our final week movie, I had never heard of. This was a couple weeks of research, digging deep and going onto different forums, trying to find werewolf movies I'd never heard of before. And I ended up walking away with 3 movies and then a sequel to a movie I'd already seen the first one for. All right. So fun fact number 2, director Adrian Garcia, I'm not going to slaughter his last name for a second time, conceived the werewolf transformation sequence as a single shot gliding between the transforming character and the observing character. The production used a motion control rig to repeat the same camera move in separate passes, which allowed the crew to perform individual pieces of the transformation and combine them into the appearance of one continuous shot. The crew took 2 full days to program the motion control rig properly because no one in the production had previously used it. So it's an existing program, but they literally were kind of running on, this really wasn't a shoestring budget, but they had
too far off.
Yeah, they worked with who they could and what they could. Obviously, I mean, once you've seen the movie, there's a budget to this fucking movie, which is amazing for a movie that I feel was paced beautifully. But that one shot is unbelievable. Like that one transformation. And now we get to have, this is our 4th movie in 3 weeks where it's the only transformations are skin rips. So
I'm here for it, dude.
I'm so happy.
Like, I will say the only thing that upsets me, and it's a petty thing, it's not even about the transformation. It's like the rip, and then we see the face of the wolf, and it's kind of like, meh. It kind of just looks like a giant hairy bat creature to me. Like Bat Boy.
What I really liked about that specific rip, though, is the fact that now knowing that this is a rigged system that's programmed to continuously do the same motions so that they can do the motion and then pause it in between cuts so that they can now put the next piece of the transformation into action, is the fact that that's 2 shots. The camera swoops in like kind of like chin and chest level and then moves up as the rip's happening. So you actually see the real actor for a split second, and then we get the full reveal of the face as it rips off. To me, I was like, you can tell it's a cut, but it's not like shitty. Like, it's done really well to a point where I was just like, yo, they really stepped up. Like this, I don't know. For a first watch, I really enjoyed this movie. This has been a really good Werewolves of Summer too, I gotta say. So far, everything's just been awesome. So
can't wait for the snarling next week. I mean,
God damn it, never again. Oh man. So yeah, this movie, again, like I stated, the pacing is really good throughout the movie, but also the character building and development is really good outside of like maybe a couple of characters where I feel like they're clearly there to fill the space that's necessary. But when we're introduced to Ambrose, who is the blind guy, the main character, when we're introduced to Ambrose, he is looking at headstones, and we didn't know he was blind, obviously, and he's just molesting a headstone with his hands, just like kind of having a moment. Yeah. So, and we don't really understand why he's doing this, but then his son picks him up, moves him into this retirement facility. They're full-blown houses. It's not like one of those sad buildings with RNs walking around. So
besides the once a month full moon, werewolf nonsense, it's not a bad place. I mean, if you don't want to go out to the shuttle every weekend on Sunday, then that's fine. Don't. But at the same point, like, you're in your own fucking side of a house all by yourself. Yes, the walls are paper thin. Paper goddamn thin.
Yeah. That is, woo, buddy. So he moves into this house, and I mean, the pacing for this movie is, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. It's fucking fantastic. He moves in, we find out quickly he's a vet, and we don't find out until later in the movie how he lost his vision. But he's like feeling the wall, yet again molesting something else, and finds there's like 3 scratches in the wallpaper, and pulls out like a fang, basically, which is, you're like, okay, cool. We're not beating around the bush here.
Why is this on my wall?
Yeah. I and that's what I really appreciated about the movie is they didn't try to pander to or like spoon feed us as a viewer. They weren't like, all right, let's trail this along and like spread out the story too much.
Yeah.
They really were like, no, there's werewolves in this movie for fucking sure. And you're like, okay, which we find out literally in the next scene. Ambrose does have a dog named Shadow, is his seeing eye dog. And so pre-warning, this is spoiler sleepover. So if you are sensitive
fucking God
to animals dying in movies, this probably isn't the movie for you because Shadow does not make it.
There's a lot of other dogs that get the big one later in it.
Literally.
Before we get to the depressing moment, can we just take a moment and appreciate how suave Ambrose was when he goes up to Dolores and just goes, you're wearing perfume? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, well, I can't see you, but you smell beautiful. It's like,
yeah. I hope to smell you again. Yeah, I hope to get to smell you again.
Damn.
Awesome.
Smell you later. You had the chance, Ambrose. You had the fucking chance. But good for you, man.
Yeah, he goes. What his nice neighbor has a yard sale that evening. Though she's on the phone with her daughter, and somebody is banging at the door. Before that, we get to see the shadow in the background through the curtains, which I loved. Again, was not hidden. It had ears, like big, tall dog ears. So you were like, oh, there it is. And it busts down the door and completely fucking, unfortunately, kills her. And Ambrose is screaming her name through the wall. And the werewolf runs at the wall and like Hulk smashes it and knocks Ambrose back. Just wild. Which is
thin walls.
Yeah, and it's also a cool little thing because throughout the entire movie, anytime he's in his house and the camera passes that wall, it's still busted open. I didn't notice with the amount of destruction and shit that happened throughout this movie. I'm so accustomed to looking for errors in directing.
Continuity.
So yeah, every time it's an unfortunate side of what we do here. Now I'm always looking for, all right, where's the fuck up? And I couldn't find a single one throughout this movie except for one moment at the tail end. But yeah, so Shadow gets killed. Werewolf busts in. Ambrose and the werewolf have a bit of a tussle, and Shadow attacks the ever-loving shit out of this werewolf. And the werewolf kills him, which is real sad. And yeah. Ambrose ends up sitting on the floor holding his dog, crying until the morning. And the EMTs and the police show up. They find the next door neighbor dead and him sitting there holding his dog. And if this was any other movie, they would have been like, so you're covered in blood. Obvious your dog's dead, but do you know what happened next door? They weren't. They were just like, yeah, so this happens like around here. You're on the edge of the woods. Animals just kind of come in. So just lock your doors. I'm pretty sure her doors were locked. Like that werewolf didn't just wander in. It busted out the door.
No.
And
we got
Ambrose's
a
front
quick,
doors.
cool bust. Yeah, we got a real cool busting in the door effect. And it was a real quick, like, you knew it was coming, but this movie does, not too bad with jump scares. That was like a quick little bang, and you get to see the werewolf for all of a split second, and then it cuts. And it's all you need. It's all you need in that moment.
And the jump scares aren't the cheap modern jump scares either. Even though this 2014, this gave me like 90s vibes, like through the entirety of the movie. It was very like mid to late 90s. And I really dug it. So yeah, Ambrose starts digging a hole in the backyard. He is leading everyone to believe he is digging this hole for Shadow. He is not, but we don't know that. He just keeps digging it over days, and Shadow is just wrapped in a cloth, sitting on the ground next to that hole, stinking up the neighborhood, literally. Cops get called on him like, hey, man, you gonna bury that thing? It stinks.
What you doing?
Yeah. So Ambrose immediately takes to becoming the detective, if you will, and is trying to figure out who the werewolf is. And it's one of the other things about the movie. There's no suspension of disbelief in his character. Like he's a vet, he's trained, he knows all of this stuff, but like he immediately is like, no, I'm blind, so like I hear and smell things that others don't. Like whatever came in here smelled like a dog, it growled, it moved like a man, but like this was not. There's only one other thing this could be. That's a fucking werewolf, man. And so he gets on the shuttle, goes to church, meets the pastor, and
he smells like smoke.
Yep, he's a smoker, and meets his lackey. I don't really know what to consider him, but it was he's just always there like, no, the father's amazing. You're like, okay, like what do you guys do in the rectory at night? So
gets his rectory poked. Hey-o.
Hey-o. So he gets a rectory.
I don't feel proud of that one.
No, it's okay. I made it worse. Yeah. So Ambrose starts to believe that, well, the wolf also slightly smelled the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be the father. Well, as he's digging the hole one night, a cloaked figure walks up behind him, and he whacks him in the head with a shovel. The next day, he goes to see the father, and the father has no injury on him whatsoever. So
he doesn't know that.
Yeah, us as the viewers, we're like, oh, it's not him. Cool. Good to know. But he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't know that. But the father's lackey gives Ambrose a ride to church, gives him a ride home, and both times the father and this dude both cough, and the camera does this really cool thing where it pulls away from them because they're in the background during both of these shots, and kind of looks like focuses directly on Ambrose, which is really cool because the cough slowly turns into like the wolf growl from both of them, which is dope. And it's a great misdirect with the father the first time on the bus. But with this next one, you're like, and then it immediately cuts to him like with an inhaler, and you're like, oh damn, who could it be now? It's just,
who could it be now?
Oh, yep. There we go. I had to do it all together. So Ambrose decides that he needs a headstone.
There we are.
That is horrifying.
Thanks, man. I was trying to come back to the world of focus.
So Ambrose finally decides he's going to buy a headstone. He goes back to the same spot. He ends up buying.
This fucking guy's weird.
Yeah, so he's like a well-known actor too. He's been in like 1,500 things. The guy that owns the headstone shop, if you will. I had written down his name and then removed it, but he's like horror. He's horror royalty. Like he's been in 1,000 things. He's also a comedian. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But he's one of those. Again, he's one of those like those actors that walks on screen and you're like, I know his face, I just don't know what from. So he buys this giant fuck off cross and asks if they deliver, and he says, yep, it'll be about 2 days. And then he asks him if he knows anyone who sells weaponry. And he goes, oh, you looking for guns? And he's like, no, ammo. He's like, yeah, I got a guy. So he goes and meets this guy who initially on introduction, I was like, oh, this is going to go badly. Yep. But he's actually really nice and super helpful with Ambrose. And I liked that. I was like, thank God there isn't like outside of the werewolves, there are no asshole characters in this movie, and Ambrose from time to time.
Yeah.
He's a weathered old blind vet. What do you expect?
He's earned that bit of asshole.
Yeah. So Ambrose asks him, he's like, hey, have you ever made silver bullets before? And he's like, yeah. And it was like, oh, go. All right, great. I need them. And he gives him the 2 types of guns that he needs silver bullets for. And then he goes, can you do a shotgun shell? And he's told it'll take him an hour to make one. And he's like, I only need one. So he gets the stuff made and returns home holding the bag with the name of this sketchy place on the side, which I thought was weird because seemed like it was super secretive, but the dude brands his own paper bags. So sure, why not? And that's when James, I wrote his name down, but way too far down. James, the lackey, James sees and goes, oh, fuck. And so pretty much immediately we know, they know, James is
everybody
the werewolf.
knows.
Yeah. So it's at a moment, Ambrose and James have another meeting and he smells the smoke and it finally clicks with him. He's like, oh shit, it's him. It's 100% this dude. And this is the whole movie up to this point has been Ambrose trying to figure this out and digging a hole and trying to like be nosy, walk to the neighbor's house, talk to the mailman, figure out what's going on. One of the elderly ladies, he suspects it might be her husband, but that dude's in an iron lung, which wild, fucking wild. You almost shut it off. You would have killed him. That was like, oh no.
That's okay. When he goes back later and it's just a decapitated head still sitting in a fucking iron lung.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the iron lung's still on too. Just so good.
It's weird. He's still breathing, but his head's not there. I don't know what to do about this.
And that's the wild thing is that's what an iron lung does is it keeps everything inside the body moving so that the person can stay alive. It's horrid. Yeah, it's just pressure to make sure everything's still moving, the heart's still beating, the lungs are still moving.
Yeah, the lungs still inflating, but the air is like coming out. Like when you take a balloon and you just hold it, it goes.
I'm telling you, when they showed that, I was like, this is a fucking missed opportunity. Like they could have it where the iron lung is like on the exhale every single time blood spurts out of the neck. Like it would have been perfect. A perfect moment of, all right, let's have a little disgusting hilarity before shit gets really fucking sour, which it does because James, being trusted by everyone in the town, is going basically door to door and just starts biting people while he's still in his human form. Yeah. And so that he has I'm assuming what he believes is going to be an unstoppable army, which we are shown very quickly that is not what happens.
Quite stoppable, my friend.
Yeah, the residents that he bit all turn into wolves. I like that we at least got one of the elderly ladies transforming the best they could, because there was a moment where I was like, they're not going to show any of this. We're just going to see them as wolves. But getting that one bit I thought was really cool. 2 of the residents, a husband and wife, the husband has an eye patch on, which I was like, okay, so dude lost an eye. Don't really understand what the reason or purpose for having this is going to be until that dude is a wolf. And I was like, yo, that's fucking brutal. But
it took me a second to get that. At first I was like, why is there just like a weird bulbous eye like wolf? It was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it took me a second too. I was like, yo, that guy's got a white ass eye. Oh, that's the eye patch guy. I was like, okay, cool.
Love those little details to make the wolves discernible. It's like werewolves with the punk rock wolf. It's like, oh, cool. It could just be Batwolf number 1, Batwolf number 2, and Milky Eye Wolf number 3. But no, they all have their little bits and bobs about them.
Yeah, his wife as the wolf still had her necklaces on, which you only see for a split second. But I was like, oh, that's dope. And they were side by side, which I also thought was cool. They didn't separate them because this scene happens quick. And so if you haven't been like fully watching, you could very easily not pick up who's who, but all of the wolves descend onto Ambrose's house, who has at this point donned all of his military garb and is armed to the teeth with guns and ready to fucking fight. And he dispatches one of the wolves pretty quickly, and then another one jumps up and tries to bust through the window and almost makes it and gets capped directly in the head. So good. We do get that sad shot of one of the residents holding their partner, like they're dead, they're transformed back to a person, but they're a wolf. And I was like, yo, this got dark. Like,
my heartstrings.
Yeah. So he takes out all of the recently turned and is just left with James the wolf, and they have a battle. And at one point, James jumps at him and knocks his gun downwards, and Ambrose shoots himself in the foot, and his toes pop up.
There was a very quick when that happened, because I just wasn't expecting for him to get shot in the foot. I mean, a blind man taking down a pack of werewolves, they got to do something to him right now, because he is kicking your ass. So I mean, just have him accidentally shoot himself in the toes and have them go all wonky looking. It's just
yeah.
They're evening the playing field.
I like that they also cut back to it, because that's another like very quick shot, pun intended. But then we get another look back, like the camera is just like on the floor facing, and his big toe and toe next to it are just sticking straight out the top. Hello. I was like, holy fucking shit. And that was also the only moment that I was like, that looks a little hokey. The rest of it looked good, but like that was the one I was like, those toes look rubber. They look plastic. Like, but yeah, Ambrose and
had his toes shot, and you're insulting
him. Ambrose and James end up in the backyard. Ambrose has rigged up the giant cross to apparently try and trap the werewolf, and it falls on top of him. James falls in, immediately jumps out, and then the two of them get into a brawl. Ambrose ends up shooting him, killing him, but in turn ends up getting bit. He gets scratched to hell and back, and sits down on a lawn chair in the back. And then it just cuts to his son coming back.
So he doesn't shoot James to kill him. Instead, he tries to go after him with his shovel that he's been practicing shovel kata with this entire time. Yeah. Holes and everything.
Oh, I definitely forgot the best part.
Yeah, and the shovel breaks. So, the part that he was specifically sharpening breaks. He holds it up to try and stop the werewolf. The werewolf bites the thing in half. So what's he do with the two halves of a giant wooden rod? Stabs him into both of the eyes of the werewolf. And I was really hoping it would have taken me out of the movie entirely, because it did not fit the mood. If all of a sudden the wolf started freaking out, running away, runs into a wall, and just squishes him in a little bit farther and hits the ground after it.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
What we could have had.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, before all of this unfolded, Will, who is Ambrose's son, it's the only bit of the movie we don't really get too much into the backstory of, but him and his son don't have the best relationship. And Will has been doing his damnedest to just kind of take care of his dad. After his mother's passed, he's like just trying to do what he can, but you can tell there's resentment. And so right before all of this unfolds, Will tells him, hey, my wife's pregnant. We're moving. And
bye, Dad.
Basically tells him like, I got to get the fuck away from you. Like you're ruining my life. And so Ambrose calls Will and leaves this long voicemail of just like, look, I know I wasn't a good dad. I also wasn't a good husband. And I tried my best to do what I could. And please don't remember me for all the bad things I've done. Please remember me for all the good things I've done. It's really fucking sad. Like, so Will realizes, like, okay, my dad's about to do something fucking stupid and I should go be with him. So he takes off. He gets there too fucking late. The guard at the front, who was reading nudie mags and just kept telling anyone who pulled up speed limit's 25 miles per hour, is fucking dead.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Also, we get an insight at the point where the werewolves all emerge, is he sees it on the camera and he's like, oh shit, like they know. And so they're just, are we just led to believe that they're aware of this and people are just putting their elderly family members in this community to fucking turn into werewolves, to be killed by werewolves? Like, I don't love you anymore. Go get eaten by a wolf.
There were quite a few of those little "what the fuck are you doing" moments that Ambrose pointed out as jokes, where one of them, when the cops showed up when he was burying or digging a hole the first time, he's like, what are you talking about? There's plenty of room. People are always dying to get in here. And it's like, really? All right. Thanks, man. Yeah. My personal favorite was when he first started, going around the neighborhood and he finds the tomatoes and then goes into the woman's house and then finds him in the iron lung. And then he goes out and basically goes, have fun with your vegetable. It's like,
yeah.
Ambrose. Wow.
But so Will finds his dad dead. He died. The attack took him out. And then it just kind of cuts to him being they're at a 2-person funeral, and he grabs one of his dad's guns and shoots at the moon.
All right, so a couple things here. One, I was hoping he had silver bullets. Maybe he shoots the moon, and then, when the bullet hits the moon eventually, then no more werewolves. I know the science isn't there. With my brain, 2 things popped into my mind. When he goes and reaches over his father's eyes, 2 things happened. One, I went, he's blind. Why are you closing his eyes? It doesn't matter anymore.
I thought the same.
The other one was I was expecting him, as soon as he goes like this, I was like, he's blind, and you're gonna go, hello, can you see me? Like,
see, I had the same thought at 2 different moments, which was when he went to go close his dad's eyes. I was like, he's been bit and scratched multiple times. He's going to transform. And then I was like, no, because it's a long process, so it's not just going to like happen immediately. And then when they were at the funeral, I was like, I kept my eye on the coffin. I was like, yo, that thing's going to pop open. Like, it didn't. So, but yeah.
I'm shocked because Dolores got, partially disemboweled, dead on the fucking spot. When we see Ambrose get slashed, it's like practically spilling out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he's going to die like faster than that. Nah, just wrap himself up in bandages. He's fine. Yeah. Call it a day.
Of course. He's a war vet, man.
Yeah, he's fine. Just rub some dirt in it. Give it a little duct tape.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the entirety of the movie. But before we like really end this thing, I want to point out the unconventional style of these wolves. This was a very, like, they had an underbite, which I thought was really an interesting choice. Like, they had like pushed in noses, like their whole face kind of swooped out, which, it's a choice, man. But they all looked fucking menacing. Like, the look was unsettling to look at, the style of it.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, I will agree, it was unsettling to look at, but it wasn't screaming werewolf for me. It was just like giant hairy bat creature. It was all in the face that usually makes a werewolf for me, and that wasn't it, personally.
And this, again, like I've stated it a few times at this point, and probably will continue to do that even once we hit Werewolves of Summer 10. But I've never been a big werewolf fan. Like, I've never really sought out werewolf movies. we already know original first time, like the old school listeners know, go back to season 2. My all-time favorite werewolf movie is Dog Soldiers. Like, and that was, for me, was just, I feel like anytime I have attempted or accidentally watched a werewolf movie since then, I've been comparing it to Dog Soldiers. It's like, nothing's going to be better than this. And
Princess, let it go.
I think Late Phases is kind of there with it. Like, I really, really enjoyed this. Like, the movie ended, and I'm a serial watcher. Like, I'll watch
another again.
Yeah, literally, I'll watch one movie after another, or I'll watch a movie and then immediately start watching a show. And after I finished the movie, I sat in silence for like a solid 2 hours. Like, I was just like, that was heavy. A, B, I loved the design of everything. I loved, yet again, practical across the board. I didn't notice a lick of CGI. Oh, excuse me. Throughout that entire movie. Maybe the moon at the end was probably not real, but
yeah, I don't think it was.
But other than that, everything was done practically. There was no CGI blood. Like, all of the blood effects were real blood effects, utilized through the suits and everything. I liked that design-wise. I assumed that the wolves would be height-wise closer to Dog Soldiers, but they didn't change height from the character, which I thought was a very cool choice and also very Universal monsters, because I was like, oh yeah. And they were tiptoeing, and I was like, oh, Jason Michael is going to love this. So
yeah, in that whole like single scene transition where it's going back to him, there's the fake arm that's growing nails through it right in front of him.
So,
and then when it comes back to the leg, and one leg is kind of pulsating and slightly changing, the other one's already tiptoed and gangly. And it's like, what the fuck is this thing?
So good.
So Rob, who would you crown Bloody Legend of Late Phases from 2014?
I want to give it to Nick D'Amici, and that is the actor that played Ambrose. There was a fun fact I didn't write down, but to prepare for the role of a blind man, he practiced for months wearing a blindfold and learning how to get around his house. And
good for him.
He memorized and practiced his lines and movements blindfolded, so that when he was not blindfolded on set, he remembered how he moved blindfolded and move similarly. Now, does he move like a blind person who has functioned for a long time? No, he functions like somebody walking in the dark, but still, it's pretty impressive. He also already stated he's a stud for an old dude. He also, like, his character, like the role he plays is great. He's comedic, he's serious. He's with very minimal facial movement. You can see what he's thinking just by the slightest twinge of his eye or lift of a lip. Yep. I was really impressed with all of his acting. I thought it was really cool. So yeah.
When this movie initially began, I have a note that says mob boss being put into a home, because he was giving me major, like, hey, you'll come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding vibes as well. And I was sitting there throughout the entire thing just going, is he a mob boss vet and blind mob boss? Ooh, this is a fun little dynamic. For some strange reason, I kept forgetting that he was blind during the movie. And internally, I'm sitting there going, bro, they're standing right in front of you. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Why is this guy just walking around with a shovel? Oh, that's his cat. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm the asshole.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, he was really good. So for those of you who are longtime listeners and current viewers, but longtime listeners, this one will be being added to the collection. I am already seeking it out on Blu-ray so that I can own it. So, well, then, with that being said, we are going to have to rate this. So on a scale of 1 to 10 vegetable jokes about a man in an iron lung, how many would you give this one?
Well, little peek behind the proverbial curtain here. For some strange reason, Jason's brain, even though last week on Werewolves of Summer for another Wolf Cop, we did specifically say we are watching late phases. Jason Michael's brain went, let's watch next week's movie. So I watched the movie that's coming out next week for us first, and then at the end of it, I texted Rob going, "I just watched the wrong movie." Whoops. See, I'm trying not to spoil anything here on Spoiler Sleepover, but
I haven't even watched it yet, so say nothing.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say anything, but for me, it was an interesting take on a werewolf movie. It's not what I was expecting, like The Blind versus Werewolves, wasn't expecting it. And that's pretty cool. It did something different. It wasn't the same. And you go in if you don't know it's late phases, if it's just late phases, cool, perfect. If it's late phases Night of the Wolf, then you're like, oh, it's a werewolf movie.
Right.
You can go into this movie in the first few minutes and be like, all right, just everything's hunky-dory, guy towards the end of his life, being put in a home. Bam, werewolf. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a strong 7 with room to improve, I feel. Room to actually want to rewatch it. So,
nice.
Strong 7. Rob, what about you, based on the fact that you're going to add it to your physical collection?
Yeah, I keep wavering back and forward between an 8 or a 9, but there were a few moments. I had said there was, other than the toes, there was another moment where I was like, ooh, but there was a moment when one of the wolves moved where you could see the suit like fold on itself right by the neck. And I was like, obvious. But like, also, again, it's practical. That shit happened. So whatever. But those 2 moments I was like, made me want to say 8. But this isn't something I'm just going to watch like 1 or 2 more times. Like, I'm probably going to watch it again in like a few weeks. So I'm going to give it a 9. Like, this was really good. Like,
when it's Werewolves of Fall.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it'll be it's a 9 for me.
There you go. Well, then, because I started teeing it up, we end Werewolves of Summer next week, unfortunately. We end it with a movie that I have already watched accidentally. We're talking about Were from
right
2014. So
another 2014.
Another 2014. Will it be another good year for a werewolf movie? Did any other werewolf movies come out in 2014?
Probably all of them, if 2 of them came out. But
that's fair.
This one, I was pre-warned. This one is a slow one, but it is dark and it is fucked up. So I wanted to throw...
I'm going to not say anything until next week.
I wanted to throw something that was supposed to be super dark into the mix. So
something that's going to make me cry. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Don't mention it. Seriously, don't ever mention it again. But
anytime. Yeah, shut your mouth.
All right. Well, visit all the things. Follow, subscribe, like, comment. Please comment. Please comment. And don't forget to, if you're already watching this on YouTube, great. Thank you so much. But if you're only listening, please go subscribe to our YouTube and tune in every Wednesday for our brand new show, Off Top Ick, which is it is our openers. It is a conversation every single episode where we just kind of hang out and bitch about a topic or have fun. It's just
I'm hoping not to go off as much as I did last week.
No, I loved it. It was great. It was fantastic. No,
I watched the clip the other day and went, "Oh man."
We're going to have fun next week. So, thank you so much for joining us. Good. And until next week, the final week of the Werewolves of Summers 2. Sleep tight, suckers.
Oh, sleep tight, suckers. Oh.
listening to this week's episode of Spoiler Sleepover. Join our cult by following our socials like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And for more offerings like this, follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/Spoiler Sleepover Podcast. So until next week, sleep tight, suckers!